Over the last 845 days, we sent over 8.25 million emails to our email list, and the crazy part is that we spent only $13,000 but actually made back $1.25 million in sales from those efforts. Now, what's crazy about this isn't the 97-to-1 return on investment, it's actually some of the lessons that we discovered when analyzing the data, and that's what I want to bring to you guys today so that you can figure out how to deploy the lessons that we've learned in your email strategy to get amazing results. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name's Jamie Atkinson. I'm the founder of NeedAGuest.com and ColdLeads.com. We run a podcast marketing company, and our goal here is to help you get a heck of a lot more successful inside of your business. This channel's all about getting you past 100K months into those multiple six figures and beyond. And so if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Let's dive into the video. And a quick earnings disclaimer, less than 3% of businesses even make it to $1 million a year, let alone beyond that. And so everything that we're sharing here is just lessons that we've learned, no income promises or claims here. Let's dive into the video. Number one, what was the ROI from email? We spent $13,766 and we made over $1.268 million in sales in this 845-day time duration. Now, when we had that return, it's actually a 97-to-1 return. We didn't spend a single penny on paid advertising or any other cost beyond this. Number two, let's go through the top level email stats in that 845 days so you can kind of figure out the ROI for yourself. So in that time frame, we actually sent 1,079 campaigns to an average of 7,414 people. We started the list with about 4,000 people, and our active list today at time of recording this is about 15,000 people. And so that equals 8 million emails that we sent. Within that, we had 2.74 million emails that were opened, 42,400 clicks, 20,000 unsubscribes, and we'll talk about how that's not important in a second. And that 1.268 million in sales that we generated, it was equated from about 185 high ticket sales, which averages out to about 7,000-ish per sale that we made in that time frame. Number three, how do we generate all these leads? We did podcast interviews across the 845 days, driving people to a simple Facebook group called Need a Guest. When people joined Need a Guest, they gave us their email address and their phone number, as well as what they're looking to get out of the group. We were able to generate upwards of about 40,000-ish email leads just by driving people to this group completely for free. So the actual cost of this was really no organic marketing cost. It was really just the cost of the email software, which is why we had such a great return on this, 97-to-1. Number four, frequency of emails. If you had an in-person store and you only opened up the store once a week and you said to your friend, hey, I need to make more money from my store, what should I do? Any bonehead would tell you, well, why don't you open every day instead of being open once a week? But when we look at our email list, we seem to think that the story is different. It isn't. In this time frame, we sent about 1.7 emails per day, which basically meant we nearly sent 2 emails a day on average across this entire time frame. The more emails that you send, the more sales that you make. You're able to generate more clicks, more results, and ultimately make more money inside of the business. Frequency is one of the biggest things you want to increase when sending emails to your list. Number 5, unsubscribes don't matter, and here's why. Think of the analogy I just told you about the in-person store. Imagine rather than tracking the metric for sales, you actually tracked how many people walked out the store without buying something, right? When you were open 1 day a week, you only had 3 people a day that left without buying something. But when you opened up 7 days a week, that number magically increased to 20 plus people. If you were measuring that metric, you'd be like, oh my gosh, we need to stop being open more frequently because we're losing customers every single day. But that metric actually has no effect to the business at all. But when you open every day for that store, you make significantly more sales. Unfortunately, a lot of business owners, they look at their unsubscribe count and they say, oh, my unsubscribe count is so high, I need to stop sending as many emails. And it's absolute hogwash. You should be focusing on the number one metric, which is how many sales are you making from your list. Unsubscribes are a good thing. When people come off your list, they're actually going to help you get better deliverability over time because you've got people who want to open your emails who are actually opening them. Number 6, our 7 best performing emails were all inside of the welcome sequence that we send to people as soon as they opt in and join the email list. You can see here from the screenshot that we've got all of these emails that were sent, and our highest emails with the best open rates and also the highest click-through rates actually came from the welcome emails that were sent. What this means is the best time to convert somebody is as soon as they come onto your list. What's crazy about this is if you look at these statistics, you'll see that the first 2 emails that we sent actually got 51% of all of the clicks from all 7 of these emails. The first 3 emails that we sent actually got 77% of the clicks, meaning that the first 3 emails that you send in your welcome sequence are not only going to get you the most click-throughs from your welcome sequence, but actually from all of the emails that you could possibly send. So you want to make sure that those first 3 emails are really optimized to sell your offer. Number 7, you can actually integrate your email provider with an AI tool. We personally use ActiveCampaign as our email provider. If you want to use them, I'll drop a link down in the description so you can go sign up for them. And with ActiveCampaign, you can directly integrate with Claude. What this means is that you can actually ask Claude as an AI to give you insights and feedback based on what the data is telling you. So you can ask it, what was my best performing email? Find me a webinar sequence that had the best registration rate. Find me my single best performing email that made me the most money. Find me the email that had the highest open and click-through rate. Find me the email that had the biggest impact inside of my business. Knowing you can integrate your email provider with AI is just a super helpful way that you can get really meaningful insights and data just by asking questions. Number 8, the dead contact resurrection method. One of the most important things that we have set up inside of our ActiveCampaign account is re-engagement tagging. Every single time somebody comes through and they open an email, they click an email, they reply to an email, they get sent through an engagement automation that's built into ActiveCampaign, and that helps us understand who has been a subscriber and who has opened an email in the last 7 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and 180 days. What this allows us to do is create engagement-based segments to help increase the amount of likelihood that people are going to open our emails and get more click-throughs. This is a very powerful way that you can actually artificially increase your open rates, which helps you significantly with email deliverability. You'll notice that if your email deliverability is dropping, overall, you'll have less emails that are ending up in the primary inbox and less emails that are being read by your clients. And so by lowering the segment to say only send to people that have opened an email in the last 90 days, you're actually going to be able to get better open rates. But just remember, if you use this method, you still want to be engaging the whole list and sending emails to the whole list as often as you can. You can just use these engagement segments to help you figure out how can I get the highest open rate while still emailing the most amount of people to my list. Number 9, automation engagement is absolutely insane. Most people ignore automation emails, but our best performing campaigns are all automations. We have bear trap emails, which send out an email immediately once somebody clicks a link or watches a YouTube video. We have re-engagement email campaigns where when somebody clicks to book a call, we make sure they don't fall off, and a whole host of other automations that are designed to have a lot of success. A really good example here is we have an automation when somebody clicks a link to check out our Facebook group, and the email subject line says, "Since you checked out our Facebook group." That one email has got 72% open rates and 57% click-through rates. It's absolutely staggering and insane. And it's because it's hyper-targeted and it's very, very powerful. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about how to do those trigger-based emails that we call bear trap emails, you can check out this video. Don't sleep on automation emails. They're incredible. Number 10, reply triggered or bear trap emails. This is one of my favorite things that we do inside of our whole business. If you look at this, a standard open rate for an email is around about 25 to 35%. Our bear trap emails on average have an 85% open rate, and get this, our reply triggered click-through rates are 38% versus the 0.5 to 1% standard click-through rates that you would get with email. If you want to 2.5x your open rates overnight, you want to build these bear trap automations, and I actually created a separate video, which I'll link for you right now, that goes through in detail how to set up one of these bear trap automations for yourself. Number 11, campaign density matters. We looked at all of our data for all the emails that we sent, and we noticed that when we had small campaigns with 2 to 3 emails in an automation, we had really low completion rates. However, when we had complex automations that had 5 to 13 emails included, we had significantly higher completion rates and higher open rates overall. Everybody says keep sequences short. We did the opposite, and engagement skyrocketed. Number 12, email frequency and consistency. We already talked about making sure that you send a daily email, and I'm talking about Monday through Sunday every single day. But there's something that's massively important with daily emails, which we haven't covered, and that's consistency. If you think about it, if you drive to work every day and you see a billboard and it's the same brand, the same business, the same billboard, but every few weeks they change the ad that's on that billboard, you're repeatedly getting consistent marketing going in front of you that's going to be having that information enter your brain and being there top of mind. When you send consistent daily emails, it works in a very, very similar manner, where no matter if the person is opening your emails, they are seeing your name and your subject lines appear in the inbox consistently every single day. It's very frequent for us us to find that customers end up buying over a longer time horizon through email. Sometimes customers have had 180 days worth of emails before making a purchase. So don't focus on just email volume, focus on consistency. Number 13, play the long game, not the short game. When most people look at email marketing, they're trying to make a sale in a very short time horizon. We already talked about people are most likely to click in the first 3 to 5 days of joining your email list. But the thing that you have to remember is that not everybody is always ready to buy right out of the gate. Statistically online, a lot of people talk about that only 3% of people are ready to buy immediately. The other 97% of people are going to take a long time to actually get enough information, enough certainty that they actually want to move forward. This is the power of long-term emailing. I've been doing daily emails inside of my business now for over 7 years, which means that aside from this campaign data I'm giving you in this business for Media Firestorm, we've got historically a lot of reps behind us sending daily emails. One of the things that we've noticed is that we get a lot of customers that buy immediately, but similarly, we have tons of customers that have received 9 months, 12 months, sometimes even 2 years worth of emails from us before buying. A couple of weeks ago, I had a customer that ended up buying for us who had received 472 emails before actually transacting. So what's important to remember is with consistency game, yes, we're going to be driving to get customers immediately, but we're also going to be nurturing and consistently reaching out to these customers to make sure we have conversions that are happening in the long game. Number 14, the dead list myth. A lot of the time, people decide that they're going to segment their list and they're not going to send emails to people who haven't opened them in a long time. I've even seen cases where business owners have sometimes upwards of 20,000 or even 30,000 contacts that they haven't emailed for a long period of time, sometimes years, who they decide that that list is dead and it's worthless. One of the important things to understand is that a contact isn't dead until they unsubscribe. Case in point, when my business partner came on with me originally for Media Firestorm, she had a 6,000 person email list that they hadn't been emailed in years. We immediately started to do a daily email cadence to that list. We were able to pull upwards of multiple 6 figures worth of revenue just in the first 3 months from that list, even though it was quote unquote dead. One of the important things to understand here is that in the 845 days of data that we're talking about here, we emailed the entire list almost consistently every single day. Bear in mind, there are customers inside of that list that may not have opened an email for the entire 845 days. In fact, I can almost guarantee there's going to be a lot of them. We still emailed everybody anyway. Now remember, from the 8 million emails that we sent, we had 2.74 million that were opened, and that's a 34% open rate on average. Now, what most people forget is that that 34% is going to be spread out across the whole list. You might end up getting rid of people from your email list because you think they aren't opening emails, and that data may be incorrect with the email provider. Perhaps they are opening your emails, but the data just isn't coming in correctly. Or maybe they didn't open an email for over 300 days, and then one day saw an email landing in your inbox and decided to go in, read it, and then book a call or even become a customer. Your list is not dead. The only thing you need to consider is deliverability when emailing your whole list. Number 15, open rates and what it will tell you about deliverability. Nowadays with email marketing, there are a lot of factors at play that means that you're not going to have accurate data being given to you in your email service provider. Straight up, if anybody is using Apple as their inbox provider, all of the emails that come into Apple automatically have something called a privacy open, which means that it sends an open signal back to your email provider, whether they opened the email or not. In your email service provider, you can often actually exclude Apple privacy opens, which helps you to get a better idea of your true open rate. While we're aiming for a 25 to a 35% open rate for our whole list, if we exclude Apple privacy opens, we're often looking to get between 10 and 20% of total opens here. Now, if you exclude that data and that you notice that excluding these Apple privacy opens, you have significantly lower than that, you may have a deliverability problem on your hands. Deliverability is one of the most important things that you want to think about when you're actually coming in and doing email inside of your business. Deliverability simply means, are my emails landing in the inbox? Are they going into the promotions tab, or are they ending up in spam? What you want to do as much as possible is make sure that your emails are landing in the inbox as much as possible. That's why for Media Firestorm, we recommend all of our clients use Troy Erickson and emailmarketing.com. I've sent upwards of 20 clients to Troy now, and every single time he's able to help them get better open rates, to land in the inbox, to get out of spam. And I would always recommend that rather than you trying to fix something like this yourself, you enlist the help of a professional. We personally pay Troy about $10,000 a year just to make sure that our email health is in good check and that our open rates remain as high as possible. Number 16, story-based emails trump value-based emails every day of the week. One of the things that we noticed is that the majority of people are opening up their email either at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, or when they need a little bit of a break from work throughout the day. When you focus on story-based emails, people are opening your emails because of the love of what is going on inside of that story. Stories can be based around anything. It could be talking about what you got up to this morning, or something that occurred inside of your business, something you did with a client that day, or even just normal things that are going on around your house. I've previously sent emails about everything from getting tacos to picking my girlfriend up from the airport to even chasing my dog around the garden when she was chasing a squirrel. The reason that story-based emails trump value-based emails in 2026 and beyond is simply for one reason. Value-based emails have a shelf life, story-based emails are forever. What I mean by this is that there's only so much value that you can take in as an individual before your brain gets overloaded with information. Think about if you go to an in-person conference and you're trying to learn things. You've got about 3 or 4 days worth of information that's going to come in, but at some point you need to step away from the learning and you need to step into implementation. However, if I asked you how many days have you sat down and watched Netflix consecutively in a row, there's many of you who are on 1,000-day streaks of watching stories every single day. There is no shelf life for stories. People are always looking to be entertained, and human beings have craved stories for literally millennia. Test this out, shift to story-based emails, you're not going to regret it. Number 17, the email length itself. We've tested a majority of different email lengths. What you notice typically is that the shorter an email is that you send, the higher the click-through rate and ultimately the more money that you make. The problem with this is a bunch of marketers realized that when you send short emails, you make more money, and they exclusively started sending short emails to every single person they connected with. What ended up happening is because of this phenomena and how marketers ruin everything, is that short emails basically create a burnout cycle with customers. You're able to get decent click-through rates for a short period of time, but very quickly people stop opening up your emails because they're so to the point. Instead, we recommend that you have a mixture of 3 different types of lengths of emails. Number 1, you have the short direct offer emails. Number 2, you have the 150 to 250 word short story emails. And then number 3, you have your 350 plus word emails where you go into much more depth through a topic or a story. Now, I've sometimes sent emails that have as many as 1,000 to 1,500 words, but if you ever want to send a long email, you have to make sure the email is actually interesting and entertaining. If the email isn't interesting and entertaining, people are going to tune out and they're going to start to learn the behavior that your emails just aren't worth reading. Now, if you're wanting to do more email marketing, I would typically recommend that you do between 150 and 400 words maximum inside the emails that you send. Now, finally, everybody asks about time of day. In my opinion, time of day that you send your emails is almost irrelevant. I know some people that send emails at 8 in the morning, some in the afternoon, some at midnight. What I would recommend that you do is pick one time per day to be consistent. For me personally, I send all my emails at 8:45 a.m. Eastern time. Now, there'll be weeks where sometimes I fall behind my schedule and I miss that time zone, but by and large, I'm trying to stay consistent on that time as much as possible so that people can anticipate my emails landing inside of their inbox. Now, we've covered a ton in this video about some of the best practices and takeaways that we've learned from sending over 8 million emails and really getting a 97-to-1 ROI. Here's the 3 takeaways that I want you to walk away with when it comes to email marketing if you want to have success in your business. Number 1, send emails consistently every single day. There is nothing that will dramatically increase your email marketing success other than increasing the frequency. Number 2, deliverability is the most important aspect of your email. Whether you use a service like emailmarketing.com or whether you go and use some free online tools, you need to make sure that your open rates are consistently above 25 to 35% and that you're not landing in spam. Otherwise, what happens is a cascading snowball effect where at the end, if you're having consistently low deliverability, you may get kicked off your email service provider and actually have to rebuild your list completely from scratch. And number 3, don't overcomplicate the content inside of your emails. Focus on sitting down, and the first thing that you want to do is focus on a story. Rather than thinking about what's the value that can be gained from this, how am I going to end the email, have a story in your mind, sit down and write out the whole email. At the point where you finish telling the story, you can then ask yourself, what's the relevant transition that this story can relate to inside of my business? And then you can bring a small, soft transition and a soft pitch at the end of each of those emails. Now, a little bonus tip here just before you end the video. The number one most important thing that I have to tell you about email marketing is you need to sell in every single email. If you teach people that you're not there to sell and you're there to give something away for free, they're actually going to be really pissed off the first time you come along and try and sell them something. Sell from the first email, sell in every single email. It doesn't have to be a crazy pushy sales process. We just do a soft pitch in every email that we send where we're asking people to take the next step and book a call, but you want to make sure you sell in every single email. Now, if you like this type of content where we're talking about emails, make sure to check out some of the other videos on our channel where we talk about emails specifically. I did one video breaking down the exact way that we do our email marketing process inside of Media Firestorm, and we have other videos where we talk about specific strategies like the bear trap sequence that absolutely crushes it for us and for our clients. And if you're looking at this and you're saying to yourself, I really think I need to do more email marketing and overall get more leads and do more marketing in my business, click the link down below to check out Media Firestorm. This is a high-level offer to help you both get booked on podcasts and install systems like email marketing to help you have more success. I hope you enjoy. Subscribe, drop a like if you like the video. We'll see you on the next one.